Hello, and welcome to the City of Towers by night. Sitting atop a sky barge here in Sharn, contemplating our latest achievements and those endeavours yet to come. I think it's fair to say we've come quite a way since getting torn to bits in the Tier of Dakan way back when. Um, no changes at all in the gear, and I don't expect there to be any until Epic now. I did drop a golden guile, which I've added to our bar just in case we need a swap-in Diplo item or bluff. Um, Speaking of that Lords of Dust chain, I just happened to be in the harbour doing the level 15 uh, chain, or a couple of them from in there, and I went into the Lords of Dust. We smashed the first one, and the second one we were doing very well in there too. And then got to the end. The Actually, it wasn't quite at the end, was it? It was a boss, well, a crown Hezero, and suddenly, oh my God, did the health suddenly drop? It killed me, and although I do have a little cleric thing still left over from our times when we were really struggling. I haven't used it for ages. The purists would say just park it at the start for just such an occasion. Well, I hadn't done, so I lost that quest. But aside from that and the odd crown caster that can really hurt us, I guess it's an exercise in identifying the main threat and neutralizing that, same for everybody. But aside from that, we've been doing very nicely. I'm not complaining at all. The I can't um, I can't state this enough. The exposing strike, the defensive side that gives you against a single nasty target, just sort of putting it off enough that well, you can hammer on it for more damage as well. But it's on such a short cooldown that when it comes back up, you can hit it again, and that target then, provided there's only one nasty target, you can do very nicely against it. Of course, if there are two or more, you've still got the option of using your Dance of Death and hitting both with the exposing strike. I think I mentioned I had an incident in the Amber Temple where two Reapers popped up, and both got done with that strike and neutralized really nicely. So I'm more than happy with how that's working. Um, Spring attack I'm still learning. I was discussing this with one of you last night, and there are a multitude of uses for it, both offensive and defensive. The obvious one, I suppose, is to close the distance with an opponent, or maybe to jump across a gap to an opponent that would otherwise be just hammering away on your team. Um, Another one is to use a bit like the is it the Dreadnoughts? Is it the Great Leveler in Dreadnought? Is that in Dreadnought or in Primal? A Fury rather. I can't remember, but the Epic Destiny Tier 5 attack, Great Leveler, that attacks things down a line. Well, you can use the spring attack if things are lined up against you, just to jump through all of them and damage all, as far as I can tell. Or to, if there's a bunch of things in front, it's risky, but you can spring into the middle of them and immediately hit your whirlwind, damage everything. But then you're in the middle of the all the things, and that's really not where I like to be, because my health does melt away quite significantly if I spend any time in that situation. I like to be around the edges, sort of blocking up a doorway, so they're like front facing, ideally several targets front facing. Don't like to spend too much time with a whole group hammering at me, because that's not the thing of this build. I can't state enough how nice the deflect arrows is. I've done a couple of cogs in the quests, couple of quests in the cogs already, and as most of you will know, I'm sure, there is withering missile fire at the start of notably two of them. I think the one at the bottom, the ruins, and the one at the top, the wraithcallers. Both of those have horrible missile fire to deal with in the first rooms, and the deflect arrows just does such an awesome job of taking the edge off that. It's really really good. The further up the difficulties you go, I guess when you start talking legendary reapers, and those missiles suddenly start hitting really hard, and the avoiding them becomes even more of a thing. I mean, I know it's a thing even if you're not a pure ranger or have no other points in Tempest. If for people who have bits in ranger, like these bow builds with rogue and ranger and bits of something else or whatever, I've become aware that people go 4 in Tempest just for that extra thing on deflect arrows, or at least 6 in Vistani, 6 or more for the deflect arrows itself, if you've no other way of getting it. What else was I going to mention here? Yeah, in a rather silly one, this. I've run into trouble with both the keybind for the XP bar and the character sheet. Now, I don't particularly have an interest usually in unless there's something that's hit us and damaged us badly, like minus charisma or whatever it happens to be, in looking at those during the quests, or unless I'm trying to illustrate a point where our energy resists are and that. I've run into trouble with having my regular keys close to those two, so I've been getting these windows pop up in the middle of the quest and buggering everything up. So I've taken the liberty of mapping those way out of the way to something I'll never go near, and hopefully that's the end of that. Completely not related to the Tempest Ranger. What's that I've written? You know, I can't read my own writing there. I don't think that's of any great import. The fact that I don't have too much to relate here is probably a good thing, because usually the things I have to relate are bad things about getting torn up and why we got torn up. The fact that we're going along quite nicely here, to me, is just a happy thing to relate. Having started in Sharn and still no sign of getting torn to pieces. As I mentioned, the one foe that really did total us 1 versus 1 was a boss Hezro in the Servants of the Overlord, which in fact I've not completed. Brian would be appalled I left 20 odd thousand XP on the table there, dying at the end. But I think anybody or most people would have had trouble with that. For some reason, I don't even think I could stop him with the exposing strike. He seemed to be walking through it. So I don't know what was happening there, but he killed me before I could kill him, which is essentially the strategy with the Tempest. Kill them before they kill you. Death as your crowd control, as one of you put it to me. Right. For this episode, I thought we would have a go at Red Rain. Quite apt, as one of my characters is called Red Ruin. My hapless little bow slinger who dies repeatedly.
You step into Prospire's tidy office. The Inquisitive calls out to you. Step inside, quickly. There are eyes everywhere.
Again, in this one, I think there are plenty of instances where fairly substantial groups are going to attack us. So we're going to get an opportunity to demonstrate our prowess, or lack of. in that situation. And I think, especially at the end, we're going to have some quite a bit of incoming missile fire as well, aren't we? Hopefully the deflect arrow or deflect missile will work against those force missiles they throw. I think it should.
Walk out into the streets of Cogsgate. Towers loom high above, so tall they block out the night sky. Anyone who knows what's good for them will stay indoors tonight. The rain of blood has fallen here, and it's all
Ooh, that's the big one there. Okay. I must remember to shrine as well to recharge the boosts. The build is quite capable, even without boost, I'm noticing. Have I gone completely the wrong way? I have, haven't I? All I've done is walk into a load of breakables. I know there's optional people here, but I don't tend to take that because I don't know where they all are. I always end up leaving one. I know, Brian, I know. That's another load of optional XP left on the table.
The doors to the gambling hall are wide open and its chairs are empty, though the nearby tables are still covered with food and drink. Looks like the customers left in a hurry.
Okay, so can we use the spring attack maybe here?
Was left here locked and this was no robbery.
The problem is now we're in the middle of the stuff and that's not where we like to be, so I have to adjust a bit after that. Not too shabby.
Still lodged in the victim's side. You also notice several gashes on her palms. Searching the gambling hall raised more questions about the murders than answers. As you turn to leave,
so just to say again, you don't need a target selected to do the spring attack, so you could jump over a pit or something like in, as happens sometimes in the Whiz King quest. Or you can, as we were in the middle of a crowd there, you could jump out of a crowd of opponents using that. I think we may have damaged them all there. But as you saw there, it only takes one crown in the soup, like that one there, to really wreck us. It's the half of it's the damage over time they've put.
The surprisingly well-decorated rooms show signs of a struggle. Your stomach clenches.
As mentioned before, I don't know what the competing things are, but in our case I'm planning to go with Quicken for the last feat, the level 18 one. Just to get our heals going faster, and we'll be adding to these two in Epic. We'll be putting renewal on from the Sentinel tree. So let's go with the golden guile here, see if we can do a bit of Diplo. Nice. Unusually for me, I remembered to swap it back.
All of Felon's valuables are still in their proper places. As you mull this over, you hear voices from the direction of the front door. You manage to make it past the Dask thugs blocking your way. The Dask thugs let you pass, thanks to your quick tongue and winning personality. You've learned all you can about these first two crimes.
I think this could be a thing for the spring attack. Yep, get the boost going. Go on then. Go on then. I think we got a breakable bonus. You put that one in the profit column, Brian. Are we going with the spring attack again here? I think we are. That was a nice one. I think we got most of them there. Nice. loot all over the place. I've stopped collecting these keys because the event is finishing today, I think. It's a shame, actually. I just TR'd my little Ranger Red with one of the Bear's characters, and we realised that you have to be minimum level 7 to do the Night Revel quests. I think you can be most levels to do the ones in the oh, here they come, to do the ones in the one, sorry, in the graveyard, but you have to be 7 or above for the quests themselves, and we were level 4, I think, so that didn't cut the mustard.
No doubt they were hidden there so they could be fenced on the black market later.
I find I'm missing this purple dragon spring boost on Red. He doesn't have it, and my main character Fools, the druid, doesn't have it. Well, doesn't use it either because it switches off the any iconic toggle. He uses the deep gnome one for the illusion bonuses it gives.
The more questions you have. You can only hope that Zolkus
Oh, hello, Reaper.
holds the answers you've been seeking.
Not cool. Oh, mistake there. Another mistake there, leaving that crown unattended at the back. If that had been a crown caster, I would have probably done the same, left it alone and paid for it. Okay, so single target now. I think we've got a shrine after this, so let's throw everything into it.
Your recent adventures. Despite your own shock at meeting him again, you hope that Zolkus is willing to answer your questions about the murders. Zolkus steps through a dimension door, his face glowing with the smug triumph of the man who thinks he's won, though you're too busy dealing with his troll bodyguard to
I was
notice.
hoping we'd be a bit more impressive than this. He's really let us have it there, hasn't he? Still, we outlasted him.
To meet up with Zeller.
And he was quite tough. So in a break from standard practice, I am going to remember to shrine to recharge our boosts. The character is quite playable and survivable without, but that extra spike from the haste boost plus the Reaper's strike for double strike is very, very handy indeed, especially when you combine the two, which I tend to do. As one of you mentioned some time ago, there's the option in Sentinel, which we will be going into, for the energy resist thing. It's a mass energy resist, isn't it, that does the job of all these things, so I won't be having to mess about at the start of the quest. I think that sounds like a good plan to me. But in the meantime, just to be able to have them all as spells is very nice too.
Zelith shakes her head, the weight of her brother's betrayal settling over her like the dirt that falls in the streets from above. But you've got a job to finish.
I don't think... Oh, they might. I think we got most of them there. Oh no, not cool. You might have noticed there, the shield block thing. You can still block while you're on the floor to reduce the incoming damage. I wonder if we can find this secret door here. Oh yes, nice. That's another one in the profit column.
A Medusa. Oddly enough, she doesn't seem surprised to see you. Instead, she motions for you to enter. You stoop down to search the contents of Nahram's pack. Looks like he was fleeing for his life when the murderer got to him. More slashes on the palm. This time, you see a pattern. You wonder how you could have missed such an important clue. The slashes reveal your signature. Whoever did this was a child of heaven.
Nice job.
You find a security ledger embossed with Vaunt
I think
Arcanum
the added bonus, not only do you finish things
glance
off
reveals
quickly
that
with
every
the
victim had
boosts,
worked for Vaunt.
but that
It's
tends to
too
mean
big
that
of a
they're not
coincidence to
hammering
overlook,
away at you either.
especially since a note in the margin talked about cleaning up loose ends.
Let's go for the old
That ledger told you
1-2
what you
again in
needed
here.
to know. The victims all worked for Vaunt, so too much of his operations. You strike down the last of the attackers. Not when you're so close to the truth.
I think when you have the boost going like that, it does live up to its name, doesn't it? A proper growing storm, a tempest.
A familiar voice echoes from behind the
From
store.
humble beginnings, I think we've grown into the part. I will trigger the Hood of Unrest here. Both boosts. Growing storm, more damage. And the only problem is here, we can't chase this guy around. That's going to be a problem. I daren't run around and go into those mines. I'm going to have to wait for him to come to us and deal with his cronies as they present themselves. Got an eye on the cooldown for the... Are we deflecting here? We better be. Yes, we are deflecting them. The boost's going again.
You've sent the murderer to his just reward. The tiefling and the goblin disappeared.
A nice little bit of lag to finish with. Happy days. I don't think we did too bad there, and I was pleased, albeit I'm clumsy with it still, but I managed to get more of the spring attack in to show you the potential that thing has a little bit. It's one of these that's going to take some work, but for if you're anything like me and you really enjoy having the abundant step-like ability somewhere in your build, then this is definitely for you. And in our case, we already had the prerequisites, the dodge and mobility, because we wanted the whirlwind attack, so it was just like one more feat to take, so it definitely made sense, at least to me. Let's see if we get anything here. Oh, we do. That's the clothing that goes with the ranged set, isn't it? So if you had a sort of a multi-class build that had any levels of monk, that would be the one to wear, I guess. As it stands, my archer uses the light armour from the same set. Very nice 3-piece ranged set from Sharn. Okay, I think that will about do it. My plan is to continue on through Sharn and the Cogs, take the sagas, and that should give us enough for 18. Options from there, I could go back to the servants of the Overlord and try and exact revenge there. There's the level 16s at the bottom of the Morgrave thing, the hidden hand ones. What else do we have? I could go to Meridia and try and show you one of those. We'll see where we get to. For the moment anyway, I think that's it for now. So thanks very much as always for looking, and I will speak to you in the next one. Take care.